backwards cap on here. What's your name, sir? Colton. Exactly what I would have expected. Maybe like a Trey or a Brad. How did you find out about Good Vibes Comedy? Let's do some.
I've been living on Annabelle's couch.
You've been living on Annabelle's couch? Oh my god. Okay. Are you single?
Yep.
Yes. Are you straight?
Australian. No.
It's okay, I don't want anyone Australian anyway, that's why I'm talking to you. Are you straight? That was been a while. No, I'm kidding, it hasn't. I'm so fucking full.
White leaves next week.
My at is tag chip. Figure out how to spell it if you're smart, which I hope you are. I'm kidding, I don't discriminate. I'll do anyone! I don't know what I've set up here, and I sincerely apologize for it.
Hello, it's me again, back with another episode of Learning From Them. This week, month, year, whenever I'm posting it, I have Tori Crisp on the menu. She is a Sydney-based comedian, I'd like to say a friend of mine who I met this year last year in the Sydney comedy scene. She's a gal's gal. She's got her own room going actually. It's called insert name here. And we talk a lot in this podcast about her journey with self-doubt, as a lot of comedians experience, and also she's starting a podcast, which I don't think she's done yet because she's a bloody perfectionist and hasn't got it just the way she wants it yet, but she's close. She is close, she tells me. So I don't know if we reveal the name, but it's a bit of a secret. So if you hear it in the video, pretend you didn't. But she'll be launching soon, so check her out. All her details are in the description and enjoy our chat. She's a lovely girl. Nice chatting with you, Tori. Recording in progress. Tori Crisp, welcome to my podcast called Learning From Them.
Learning from them, Jessica O'Reilly. Thanks for having me.
Why do you have such professional kit? Such a good microphone. What do you do with that?
Oh, it's not mine. I've been borrowing it from my housemate. I'm setting up my own podcast this year. Hasn't been released yet.
Oh, well, secret's out because this will be out in a few weeks.
Hopefully mine will be out by then too. I don't know. I need to get my act together. I'm one of those people who needs everything to be in order before the thing can be done. So I haven't got artwork organized yet. I need to get a graphic designer just to do some artwork for it. I love like a theme song or some sort of intro. And a couple of people have offered to do it, but then it's about getting the time together to make sure that they know what I want and then for them to do it and get back to me. And it's just, it's
a whole thing.
Yeah, it's just steps and steps and steps. And I'm a big procrastinator too. So it doesn't always go as smoothly as it could.
Well, there's a saying about procrastination about over planning being one of the finest forms of procrastination. Over planning.
Yes, it truly is. Yeah. Everything has to be absolutely perfect, otherwise nothing can happen at all.
Yeah, I feel like I'm quite lucky in the fact I'm not really a perfectionist and I just do things. Good. I mean, like lucky in the sense that I just do things, but it's never high quality, but whatever. It's just about.
I admire people like that. I wish I could just do more things. I feel like I would be, I don't know, just so much further along with anything I've attempted in my life if I just done things, but here we are.
Yeah, well, you seem like you're doing pretty well. Can you tell me about the podcast?
Yes, I can tell you a little bit about it. It's Wikipedia based, and it's kind of just fun, silly stuff, and we go look at what's on Wikipedia. And then we come and just, I don't know, what am I saying? It's is really terrible, isn't it? Can you tell? Okay, another thing I haven't done on my to-do list is write like the little show notes and like a little brief on
Elevator
what
pitch.
it actually is, an elevator pitch. Yeah, I'm terrible at getting things down into a little concise message.
Well,
so
that's hard.
it's about Wikipedia. If you love Wikipedia, you'll love the podcast. Have a listen when it comes out.
So you'll have guests on, a different person each time, and you're just
different person each time. Different topic each time, and it's basically just about how you kind of lose yourself in Wikipedia a lot of the time. Well, I find myself losing myself down a big old deep dive rabbit hole.
Interesting.
Ending up in some really weird places. Yeah.
Wow. I have never lost myself in Wikipedia. Most people like YouTube
Never?
or no. Like
Really?
I go to Wikipedia regularly because it's very good top ranked Google search when you Google anything.
Absolutely.
But like
yes.
I find that it's quite like it's not written in a really engaging way for me and my brain. I'm like, make this fun. You're boring me. Too many details.
I know. Well, hopefully the podcast will be the fun version of that. So maybe this will be your gateway into Wikipedia.
That's true. That would be really cool. If you could do that for me, I would highly appreciate it and recommend it everywhere.
There's so much, like, I am in awe of the people who contribute to Wikipedia because it is just written by people like you and me. We can have anything we want in Wikipedia. So it does, take it with a grain of salt as well, whatever you read. But I'm just in awe of anyone who's written, like, there's so much information, every historical period you can think of, like every celebrity, every, element on the periodic table, all these things are just anything you want,
true.
you can find.
Are you a bit of an intellect? Would you consider yourself?
Once upon a time, I think I would have considered myself an intellect. I don't know what I would consider myself now. Curious, probably. I think curious is the word for it. Yeah,
and don't be modest. You can be an intellect and be proud of it as well.
Oh yes, I think this is the thing. I actually, and oh god, it's like it makes me want to vomit just even saying the words. But I do want to get diagnosed this year with something, ADHD.
Oh my gosh, who doesn't?
Oh no, who doesn't? I know, but it's a consistent theme in my life. I have so many like varied interests and so many things that I would love to get going and do, but I never can actually do them, and it's always this block, and I've never been able to figure out why. And now this stuff's floating around about ADHD. I'm like, oh, that's probably it.
God, I want to do that with you. I think I said this to you. I think we already discussed this in improv class.
I think we might have. Yeah, definitely. But
like,
it's always an out-of-pocket cost as well. I don't know. Everything I'm hearing is there's a huge waiting list, and it's not covered by Medicare, and it can be up to like $1,000 or something out of pocket, which I think is a relatively small. Well, I don't know, coming from a place of privilege saying that, but I think it's a relatively small price to pay for a diagnosis that's significant. So
but also like
I wish it were covered.
Super embarrassing cost if you're just like, no, you don't have it. Oh my god,
then what happens? Maybe there's
can I have my money back?
Yeah, please. That would be that's not something I've considered, is paying the money and then not getting a diagnosis. Oh dear. I think I'm just so sure at this point that I have it.
Well, if that's the case, then I think it's a good investment. It explains a lot. If you really struggled and you wanted meds, you could go on meds, but
definitely could be good at certain points. I don't know, we'll see. I'll come back to you.
Okay, we'll talk about it. So tell me, how did you go at Raw?
How did I go at Raw? I went well. It was my second time. So for anyone who doesn't know the Raw comedy competition, you can enter up to 3 times over any number of years, just 3 times in total. So I entered last year, and then this year. Last year I psyched myself out so much thinking that my comedy was horrible, and I just wasn't funny, and my jokes were shit. And can I swear on this?
No, okay. I'm gonna beat that.
Can't. Sorry. Uh, yeah, and I psyched myself out for like the month leading up to it, and wasn't enjoying my comedy, myself, all of this stuff, all this negative self-talk going on. And that translates on stage as well. And I think, I mean, you see my comedy, it requires a certain level of energy. I can't go up there like in a really self-hating, self-loathing sort of space and make people laugh in the way that I usually would. Maybe people might laugh at other things, but not what I would intend them to. Yeah, so I realized what was happening in my mind about 2 days before last year's Raw comp, the heat that I was in. And so I was able to get up and maybe enjoy myself a little bit more, but it wasn't enough time to fully reverse what had happened in my brain. So yeah, I didn't enjoy myself as much last year, but this year I think that was the lesson for me. I was really glad that I went through that experience. Competition comedy is so interesting as well. Have you signed up this year?
I have done Raw twice, not this year, but so I did like so early. It was so wrong of me to do it both those years, but
this is a thing. People don't even know. My friend Annabelle James, she signed up. Her first 3 ever gigs were at Raw because she thought it was that was what the competition was for, that you sign up for your first ever because it's Raw. It's like people don't know what they're doing. So
that's what I thought.
Yeah, exactly.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, you and everyone else. But
okay, good to know. That's clearly something we need to let them know. Like, your marketing is kind of misleading.
Well, yeah, and I don't know that it is. I think they would like people to. I think that they would like to have someone turn up on stage for the first time ever and kill it.
Right.
But that's just not the reality of comedy, is it? I mean, I don't think any of us really got up for the first time ever and walked off going, "Wow, I'm the best in the world." That's just not the reality of comedy.
Yeah, there must be someone who's done it, right? Some what's it called? Like a prodigy. Who's
there would be someone. I feel like maybe like Fatty Kassab would be someone like that. He's so likable. I'll shout him out. Fatty, I like you so much.
Had him on the podcast the other week.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
My audience will know.
Yes,
who we're
they
talking
will.
about. And I feel like I should have explained Raw comedy as I asked you the question, because like I have family and friends who watch this and they don't know about comedy. But Raw is the yearly competition for
national comedy competition. Yep.
What do they call themselves? Like, for who? For upcomers?
For up and coming open mic comedians. I think it's the subheading, the slogan is kind of like the largest open mic competition in Australia or something. So it's like they brand themselves as an open mic, which is not entirely how I would consider it. Like,
from what we know about comedy and
what we know,
all the hours of work you have to put in and shit you have to eat,
but this isn't to say as well, I don't want if anyone's listening to this, God forbid, and thinking, but I signed up and I haven't even done a single gig yet, like, just do it. I think again, that's the thing, that sometimes you just need to get past your own, like, what you might be imposing on yourself in terms of limitations, and just do things sometimes. So just experience it, get a feel for what it is, and see what happens. Maybe you're the prodigy.
Yeah, such a good point, actually. And because I'm sure Facundo said this, and it's the same reason I did it. We signed up the first time, and maybe you did too, just like, and once you did that, you're like, okay, I have a comedy gig now, I have to get good at comedy. And so you went out and like did a few gigs before and broke the back of it. You just had a reason to get on stage,
a reason to actually get out there. So I mean, if that's the thing, if you've signed up and you haven't ever done a gig before, get out and do a couple gigs before you go up there. That way at least you won't be able to. I remember when I first started comedy, it took me like, I think it was literally my fourth or fifth gig at Crown Comedy in Lewisham here in Sydney, and I was finally able to breathe when I held the mic. Like, it took that many times of me standing up on stage.
How many times was it? Sorry?
Like I think it was, because my fifth ever time was The Girls. So I think it was my fourth time doing comedy.
God, at Crown, brutal.
Crown. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm doing this and I can breathe now. I don't sound like and then the thing just because, you know, you're trying to catch and you're trying to let it settle and it's just not. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how well did you go at Raw this year?
Okay, so Raw this year, sorry, got distracted. Yeah, so I went well. I went in with the goal of just of having fun. I knew that my brain might try to psych me out ahead of it, so I didn't let that happen to the best of my ability. I went
Nice.
in thinking this is going to be a good gig at the Comedy Store. I had a few people that I knew on my same heat. Yeah, and I just had heaps of fun. I did like do like an audio recording of obviously you kind of record every gig with a voice note or you know, a full video if you prefer, but I did audio record, and like being a bit self-critical, I could have slowed it down and sat with it a little bit. I think I hate 5 minutes, like, and that's like a pretty hard limit for Raw. They cut your mic off at 6.
They cut my mic off in my second one.
Oh,
I didn't see the light. It was
Oh,
so
yeah.
awkward. I don't know how I missed it. And then,
Yep.
oh my God, I hated every second of that.
Yeah.
I forgot my lines. So I was just like waffling and then
and
yeah.
yeah. I saw someone, because I went to watch the heat last night, and I saw someone get their mic cut off. So pretty brutal.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
brutal. And then I went to the light guys behind and was like, hey, I didn't see the light. Are you sure it was on? And they were like, don't talk to us. And then I was like, okay. Like they were like super like didn't want to be talked to. And then one of the judges, they obviously dobbed on me, the light guys, and the judge came to me and was like, that is so unprofessional. Don't you? I'm pretty sure he said something like, if you do that again, like you'll be kicked out. You won't be able to come to Raw again. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even into, like, I just thought that, yeah, it was awful.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously your intent was just like, oh my God, like, did you do it? Sorry, I couldn't see it. Like, you know, you weren't coming from a place of like, you didn't do your job, but
yeah, absolutely. I wasn't. I was like,
awkward.
I just wanted, are you sure? Because I really was looking for it. I thought I was, but you know, I'm sure it came on and I just missed it.
No, I know. Yeah, and I saw so many people miss it last night as well. Like, just they finished in their time, but I don't think they actually recognized the light.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. It's a tricky one.
Okay.
So
were you there?
like,
were you there with Kate Dolan?
No, Kate's gone overseas. No, Kate did her heat in Wollongong last week. Yeah, on Friday. She won.
I heard. That's great. Who won your heat?
Who won my heat? Jared Crane. I hadn't met Jared before.
I know Jared.
You know Jared?
Yeah. I don't want to assume I know him. Is he bald?
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like quite kind of dresses a bit tough, and then he talks and you're like, oh.
I know. Yeah. He's super gay.
Yeah.
For anyone listening. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he won.
Oh, amazing. Oh, he's quite new.
Runner up. Yeah, I hadn't seen him before. So but he rocked it. He killed it. He crushed it. It was great.
I'm gonna send him a message. That's great. Oh, so good. He's one of the people. Well, I don't know how many gigs he's done now, but when I spoke to him like a few months ago, he was like, I'm really early on, like pretty new.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
No, he's crushing it.
Might get him on the pod.
Yeah, do it. What was I? Oh my gosh, sorry. Oh, I was talking about the 5 minutes and just.
Oh yeah.
I'll just finish that thought.
Yeah.
Can you see how the ADHD is probably definitely a thing?
I think it's my fault too. I bounce around, but that's how conversations
we're bouncing
work.
off each other. It's fine. Exactly. So to be a bit self-critical of my set in Raw, I think I could have sat with the jokes a little bit and just like relished it rather than I didn't race through, but I was just like, okay, and here's another one, and here's another one, and here's another one, and here's another one, and let's make sure I get them all in. So I think I finished just under 5, but you can go a little bit over, so I could have just taken a bit more time. That's all. But yeah, I had a really good set, good gig. Enjoyed it heaps.
Is your set kind of written like you wouldn't want to lose the end jokes, like you would rather rush through it and get all your jokes than slow down and miss the last guy?
Yeah, I had a joke that I really wanted to hit at the end. So I have this trouble with my joke writing, is that I don't know why, which is why I struggle with 5 minutes so much, is that all of my bits start out at least with 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's like a whole concept, and I bring together like multiple ideas and pull together this thing. So my joke at the end was, I was talking about how I don't trust men with facial hair, and then it leads to talking about my own face, and comparing and all this stuff, and it goes for about 2 minutes, and it's I really like the joke. I'm really proud of it, but yeah, I didn't want to. There's not really like an edit point that I've found yet. Sometimes I, like a year after I've written a joke like that, I'll come back and I'll figure out a way to slot in like little parts of it to other things, or just cut it down to like a little 30-second gag that I can chuck into a little 5-minute set. But yeah, I also don't spend much time writing at the moment, which is horrendous, and I wish I did more, and I'd probably figure it out faster, but
yeah. What is your writing process? How do you come up with jokes? Like, do you have a process that you can articulate?
The process as it is currently, it's not anything that I would recommend. It's me, I'm in my bedroom, it's me lying in my bed at 4 a.m. And my brain is still buzzing, and a thought comes into my head and I go, oh, that's kind of funny, and then I write it in my notes, and then maybe I come back to it and actually turn it into a bit. Maybe it stays in my notes forever. I feel like every comedian has their, note pile like that.
Yeah, definitely. But that's what I'm trying to figure out, how to turn my note pile, like something from my note pile, into a like 2-minute bit or even a 1-minute bit. Like, I'm just like, okay, that's funny as an idea, sort of, but like, how the hell do I structure this thing? And
there are so many things that just like run through up here as well that I think are only funny to me, and I chuckle when a thought comes to my head, but I don't know that it's actually, I don't know. I don't know how to translate my own like pattern of thinking into like a joke that people will get, and they'll be like, what I really want is for people to be inside my brain at all times. I would happily share every thought I have with anyone.
Wow, I wouldn't.
Not much, not much mean stuff happening up there either. Pretty
that's
think
wonderful.
pretty positively about everyone else. Yeah, I just it's myself that I'm the harshest on.
Yeah, I want to ask about that actually.
All right, well, you can
move on to that. Okay,
if you want. I don't know, but like no, just to finish the writing thing, sometimes I have a bit that comes like fully formed, and they turn out to be the best things I've ever said on stage, and it's so devastating when that happens, because I go, why does that not happen more often? And it just kind of gives you like a false sense of confidence as well with your writing. You're like, well, I don't really need to put in that much effort, because sometimes like once every 6 months a brilliant thing will come fully formed, and I'll just write it out in 2 minutes, and then that's it.
Until then, it's just the old stuff.
So it's not great. I need to actually be more disciplined with it. When I do put in effort to jokes and really think about them, sometimes I can make really great connections. But yeah, I don't have any discipline right now. If anyone has any tips, maybe I can listen to some of your old episodes and see if anyone has any tips for being disciplined about writing.
Not really. Not on my podcasts.
Really? Yeah. What do you do? Do you have some discipline?
I not lately, because I've been going through some personal stuff, and just this year I've kind of taken a break off it. But last year I was pretty good actually. I did like a whole weekend, like a Saturday. I was like, I don't have anyone to bother me, so I wrote 7 hours of jokes. I took all my, but I actually didn't write new jokes. I took all my material that I had, put it in a sheet, and went through, and I was like, how do I make this just punchy line because it's so scrappy.
Yeah.
And so now I have them in a document that's much better.
That's so
Um,
good.
It was really good. It was a great feeling. And I was like, this is some funny stuff. But then I got a more experienced comedian to have a look at it. And he was like, you're writing like a first year comic. I was like,
Well,
okay, I am.
okay.
I am one. But
That
like
would
I
be
was
an
like, tell me
accurate
more.
representation.
Yeah, and his notes were kind of like some of it was helpful, but a bit of some of it was like this wouldn't work. And I was like, no, that's actually literally the only stuff that does work. Like two really good bits. So I was like, people love that. So it's different in paper.
It's
But,
delivery as well.
Yeah, exactly. It
That
is
can make the
hard.
difference a lot of the time.
It is hard to get advice or like even learn from other people. You can get inspired, but like you have to do it your own way.
Yeah.
Like 'cause it's so unique to you.
I think so. I'm envious of the people who have like a really strong writing partner as well, like someone that they just like, it almost is like their brain works the exact same way and they somehow find that person and create some of the best things you've ever seen.
Yeah, I haven't heard
I
about
love
these
it.
writing partners.
Yeah, like, well, people might like not necessarily stand up, but you know, scripts or you know, feature films and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, I think I
Even
can't think of
just
an example right now because my brain is fried, but yes, it does happen.
yeah. And even just like maybe we're in Marcel's writers group, but I also saw that him and a bunch of comedians went into an Airbnb one weekend and just did a writing weekend.
Oh, that was
Like,
recent, was it? Yeah, I think I saw that as
yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, that
Yeah.
sounds like great discipline and throwing around ideas, and I want to be there or have
That
my
sounds like a good use of time and money as well. Like I would
yeah.
absolutely do that. Yeah.
Should we maybe see
Should
who else
we?
wants to come with us? Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, should
let's
we?
do
Should we
it.
do this?
Oh my God, should we do this? This is really funny because you say should we do this? Anytime I say should we do this, I'm actually really meaning it. So
Yeah.
if you want to take any initiative at all and set something up, I'm there.
Okay, great. Because I was making jokes with that. Should we do this? Are we really doing this? Oh my God, are we really doing this? Funny, but I would love to.
Sure. Can say it in a jokey way, but there's always an undercurrent of like reality with me. Like my friends will say, "Oh, should we just like go for a weekend to Bali?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, should we?" And then the next weekend we're there, you know?
Yeah. Okay, great.
So
No, I'm keen. All right, leave it with me. I will think
You're
about
kidding.
this.
I'm not. Okay, great.
I'm not kidding. Didn't mean
Okay,
to
you're
yell.
not kidding. Perfect.
Yeah, could you tell? I'm not kidding. Okay, so let's talk about because I'm really interested to know about comedians' self-doubt because I have a lot of that too, and you've mentioned it a couple of times.
Yeah.
I forget. So it's a thing.
I've already mentioned it several times. Yeah.
I forget what you said now, though. You said earlier, I don't know what you said, but it was about self-doubt. Can you tell me about that? Like how does it impact your brain and your gigging and anything?
Oh,
And how do you overcome it? Like, you said something about overcoming it. So I was interested to know how you overcame it. So yeah, tell me what it is and then how you overcame it.
I think I'll start with this. I don't know whether it was, who was I talking to? It might have been some people because I'm doing improv at the moment. And everyone at improv is always like really, you know, happy and amazed. They're like, "Oh my God, you do stand up as well. Oh, that sounds so great. Oh my God, but it's so scary, right? Like you must be so scary to do that. You're up there by yourself and blah, blah, blah." And I always say to them, like, actually for me, improv is scarier to start out with as a concept because I'm always terrified of like letting other people down. I think it's this kind of I've always felt like I needed to be so much more capable than I am. When I first started out, I didn't go to uni or anything. I just went straight into working into some pretty professional jobs. And I think I was always at 19 years old, you know, presenting as someone who could, you know, write a brief for a government minister, you know, like just shit like that. I had no fucking clue how to do it.
But that's how you learn.
That's how you learn. And I think as well, like in those sorts of jobs, I learned that that no one knows what the fuck they're doing. You know, I did work for a federal like government minister and working in that office and seeing the advisors that are literally there going, oh, we should do this with this policy. And they're just making it up a lot of the time. Like with informed, sort of opinions and advice from everyone in every level of departments and everything. But a lot of the time it's just kind of flying by the seat of your pants and making shit up as you go along.
I'm impressed that you had that insight so young. It took me years, like into the late 20s, to realize that no one knew what the fuck they were doing.
Well, it took me a little, because at first you're kind of like in awe of like everything that's going on and the way that things just seem to happen, and then time goes on. So it took me about 2 years in that sort of position to realize, hang on, everyone I meet is just making it up as they go along. So yeah, to bring that back to the improv thing that I was just mentioning, like I felt, how did I get to, I'm so sorry. Everyone was saying, oh, that must be so scary, and the self-doubt. Yeah. So improv to me seemed to be a thing that, because I had the ability to like let other people down on stage. And that's right. That's how we got there. With the everyone making shit up, and yeah, just needing to seem more capable than I am. So yeah, I've had that my whole life. I don't know what it is about stand-up that liberated me from that.
Oh, wow.
I think it was just, yeah. I was talking to my improv people, and I said to them, there's always something like masochistic about the way I approach stand-up and like open mics and stuff. Because a lot of the time I don't want to bomb, but I don't hate it when I am bombing. It's almost like with the self-doubt and the kind of negative talk that goes on, upstairs, I'm kind of thinking, well, of course you were going to bomb because you didn't put any effort in and you didn't do this and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's kind of like and not in a bad way, but just like I shrug it off. I don't feel the effects so badly of, something not going well in comedy and stand-up in particular, because it is just all on me. And again, I think when I was having this conversation with my improv class, they were going, oh yeah, and I was like, actually, that's super masochistic of me. But it was a really interesting realization that this is kind of the first time in my life where I have allowed myself to let go of any like real fear that I'm gonna fuck up and things are gonna be so, I'm just having fun. Do you know what I mean? Like when things are going well, and when things, you have a good gig and you think of something really fucked up and weird, and then you say it on stage and people get it, or people laugh, and there's something so beautiful about that. And I've never had that in my life before. And I've, done all these different things and needed to seem, or felt like I needed to seem like I knew what I was doing so much of the time, that it's kind of liberating to get up on stage and go, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to say this really weird thing and see if you like it. Okay, you didn't? All right.
You are very brave. You are very brave with your content. I really respect it.
Oh, really? So, okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm very safe. I'm a very safe player. But so when you bomb, like I actually don't mind bombing either, but I don't mind bombing because all I hear is like, you're going to bomb. You do comedy, you're going to bomb. Get used to it, kid. You're going to bomb. Right. Like it's natural. It's part of the learning process. Like feel the pain. Blah. But you go up there, if you bomb, you're like, well, of course you bombed because you didn't put the work in. Is that your
it's that kind of thing. And again, a lot of the time I'll show up to a gig, half an hour before I'm meant to get up, and I had every intention of writing something new or punching up a joke or doing something that day to kind of add a bit of pizzazz to whatever set I'm doing. But I wouldn't have even planned the set. I show up, I go, what am I going to say tonight? And I go into my notes and I go, okay, I'll do this bit, this bit, this bit. I go, oh, but that bit I really wanted to punch up because that bit isn't quite working. And it's like, oh, well, there's no time to do it now. So then I get on stage, it doesn't go as well as it could have, or I didn't try the thing I wanted to try. And yeah, I walk off going, okay, well, that's because you didn't put the fucking
Yeah.
effort in, did you? You fucking dickhead. So yeah, it's not that I am intentionally masochistic in that way. It's just that I think I don't have the capacity in my brain a lot of the time to run things the way I want to run them, like my life and my comedy and my writing and my schedule and my this and my that. So
it's a balance, man.
it
It's not
so
easy.
is. Yeah.
And whatever you're doing, how long have you been doing comedy?
2 years. I'm coming up on 2 years now.
2 years,
So,
yeah. See,
yeah.
wow. So you must have done your first Raw pretty early on then.
I did it about because we're in pandemic and stuff. So I started in 2021, early 2021, and then my first role was early 2022. So we had lockdowns and stuff all through 2021. So I think I had about like realistically 6 months of actual comedy under my belt by the time Raw came around.
Right.
The first time. But yeah.
But I'm trying to do the maths because this is 23, 22,
Yes.
and you've done 3 now.
I've done 2 roles.
Oh, my
So
apologies.
I've still got one time left. Yeah.
Okay. One more left.
I'm kind of excited for that as well. I kind of just want to get it out of the way and be like, all right, no one judge me on my comedy ever again, please.
Yeah. I'm not allowed back in now, so no more judgment. Actually, we're going to get through. You're going to get through next year. You'll be ready. It's a process.
Well, but then I sometimes I do hype myself up and go, yeah, I'm the best ever. Like, and that's just complete trash, obviously. I
but
think
you need it.
Like, but
comedians
every
need to do that.
comedian needs that. Yeah, to even think you could get up and make people laugh is just so delusional.
Yeah. Even if it goes up and down, like, yes, God, I'm funny, I'm so clever, and then you're like, fuck, I suck, I can't write, that didn't work.
Yes.
Why? I hate this.
What's going on? I hate everything. Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, I've got one more time left. Get it out the way. Feel good about it either way. I like whatever the result, you know. Just feel good about it. Take my criticism of this year's set, you know, just actually sit with it. Maybe write 4 minutes and actually just sit with the laughs if they're there, and you know, that's probably the better way to do it next year. So it's all
I really love it. Is it's such a process. I love the slowing down. I love being able to slow down. It's such a gift to give yourself that time. Like, there's a laugh and then you can just stand there quietly. I like to make faces, and that just gets more laughs. And I'm like, this is my time to just be weird, and I don't have to talk because I find it exhausting. So there's a lot to say for the silence. I think I've started off just nervous early on, and so I was quiet sometimes, and I think I have a bit of a weird presence sometimes, so that worked, and I was like, oh, I'm good at this. And then it went downhill.
Yeah, we did the comedy canteen the other weekend, a couple weekends ago, and you crushed that. That was so great to see.
That was so fun. Such a good room, I think. And I'd prepared, like you said, if you prepare for a room, then you're going to do all right. So what's your next gig? This won't come out for a few weeks, so it doesn't really matter, but
what's my next gig? I'm emceeing the Laugh In next Wednesday on the 1st of March. Good Vibes Comedy as well on the 8th of March, I think, is the next show for that one.
Nice. I don't think
that's kind of
any of this audience. But Tori Crisp is around, and where can people find you? Because we're running out. I don't know if you can see that.
I know, I can see that.
Left.
Sorry. Okay, you can find me on Instagram. My handle is @tacchip. People will never know how to spell it. TACCHIP. It's a double C in the middle.
You can also find it in the description of this video if you're watching it.
Check out. I'll be posting about the podcast on there, so go find it there. TikTok as well. That's my handle on TikTok. Yeah, that's
amazing.
Yeah,
this has been really enjoyable.
Jess. Yeah,
thank you.
I've had fun. Thank you.
Thank you, and I loved it.
See you at the next gig.
I'll see you at the next gig.
Bye.
Ciao. Bye.